Now to 2015, a year to remember. 2015 was definitely a year to remember in politics. Tonight, CBS 4's Jim DeFede takes a look back at a wild year from here in South Florida to the race in the White House.
Raise your right hand and repeat after me. I, Rick Scott.
I, Rick Scott.
Do solemnly swear.
Do solemnly swear.
The year in politics started with the January swearing in of Governor Rick Scott to a second term in office. In November 2014, Scott defeated his predecessor, Charlie Crist, seemingly ending Crist's political career. Or at least that's what some thought. More about Crist later. But let's get back to Scott. No sooner had the Florida governor renewed his vows with the electorate than Scott found himself in the midst of a political scandal. The head of the Florida Department of Law Enforcement, Gerald Bailey, was fired after allegedly refusing to initiate a baseless criminal investigation into a political rival of the governor. Scott told the public Bailey simply resigned and wasn't fired. But it wasn't true, and Scott found himself having to publicly apologize.
Well, I wanted to bring in new leadership at FDLE as we transition into a second term in office. It's clear in hindsight that I could have handled it better.
Truth be told, the biggest political news in Florida in 2015 had to do with who was running for president in 2016 and how many of them had Florida connections.
I announce my candidacy for President of the United States.
Florida Senator Marco Rubio jumped into the race in April, using the iconic backdrop of Miami's Freedom Tower.
I chose to make this announcement at the Freedom Tower because it is truly a symbol of our nation's identity as a land of opportunity.
2 months later, it was Jeb Bush's turn.
Our country's on a very bad course, and the question is, what are we going to do about it? The question for me is, what am I going to do about it? And I've decided I'm a candidate for President of the United States of America.
At the time, Bush was the early frontrunner, with a promise to have more than $100 million in contributions and the support of the party's establishment.
I will run with heart, and I will run to win.
Jeb, however, had all the lift of a lead balloon, and his poll numbers sank, in no small part due to the efforts of a part-time Floridian who branded him low energy.
I'm winning Florida. I'm beating Bush and Rubio.
Donald Trump's bluster and bombast had carried him to the top of the polls, a spot he shared for a brief period of time with yet another newly minted Floridian, Dr. Ben Carson, who, during a trip to a Kendall bookstore to promote his new book, had trouble dissecting the unique policy known as wet foot, dry foot that gives preferential treatment to Cubans who arrive in the United States.
There are a lot of policies that I lack knowledge of.
Locally, we saw the good and the bad. The low moment may have been the arrest of County Commissioner Pepe Diaz for allegedly driving drunk in the Florida Keys.
Is there a reason you're doing 73 miles an hour?
No, I apologize.
Meanwhile, on a more positive note, Ken Russell mounted a grassroots campaign to win a seat on the Miami City Commission, turning back well-funded candidates and promising to bring a new sense of reform to local government. While on Miami Beach, the millionaire mayor, Philip Levine, won re-election thanks to a flurry of commercials touting his hyperdrive administration.
I'm looking at rolling up my sleeve tomorrow and going to City Hall and continue to getting things done. Really, right now, we have so much to get done. You know me, I'm the impatient mayor, so I just can't wait to hit the ground tomorrow.
Also this year, the Florida Supreme Court redrew the boundary lines for congressional districts across the state, resulting in Representatives Lois Franco and Ted Deutsch deciding to switch districts. And it also places Republican freshman Congressman Carlos Curbelo in a district that now favors a Democrat. Oh, and Charlie Crist? Well, it turns out his political career may not be over after all. He is now running for a newly drawn congressional seat in St. Pete, but that'll be decided next year. I'm Jim DeFede, CBS 4 News.